Awesome. If people are just joining us on our live here, we're learning how to do this, and so we can start doing like monthly news roundups. We're excited to have you all join us, and we're just working out some of the kinks here. Awesome. Well, on that note, why don't we go ahead and just in case, let's go ahead and get started, and people can join in as they see fit. And let's go ahead and do some introductions. So I'll go ahead and I'll start. I'm Jess. I'm the head of new media for Prospector. This is our very first official live stream, so we're going to start trying to do these monthly, and we are very excited about it. Alessandra, I think you're up next.
Yes, I am Alessandra. I am the head of data. I am from Peru, and this is my first live stream ever. So let's see how it goes.
All right, my name is Gotham. I'm the head of corporate development here at Prospector, and just excited to see how this turns out.
All right. Hi, I'm our CTO and COO. I'm so excited to see how this goes. So
I think it's Tatiana's turn since you mentioned that. Yeah. Gosh.
Sorry. As you can see, I'm trying to get my screen closer.
Okay. All right, Tatiana, your turn.
Okay. I'm Tatiana, and I'm head of data science at Prospector. And for me, I think it's also the first live stream.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of first live streams. I think this is my first official live stream as well. So we know that our Zoom cast to live stream a couple weeks ago did not go very well. So we're happy to hear that this should be working today, as far as I know. Go ahead and comment, say hello, let us know where you're from, and we're excited to see you all. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into some news, I guess. Alessandra, you were recently at a really cool conference, and I know we would love to hear a little bit more about your insights and takeaways from that. And which conference was it? I don't remember exactly.
All right. I attended the CONAMIN. CONAMIN is a national congress for mining in Peru. However, it was a big deal because we had attendance and panelists from Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Brazil, and also, of course, from Peru. The Congress was mainly focused on ESG, so I heard really amazing stories about how big mining companies in Peru are doing the difference in the social, environmental, and also in how they are managing the relation with the government. They are talking about shared responsibility more than a corporate responsibility. All the mining companies needs to work together, the development of the province or the Congress, or to share new methodologies, probably some things that may reduce the environmental impact or the social impact to the community. So I think that was really interesting and something new. I know I have been hearing about ESG ever since I think probably the last 3 or 4 years. We heard the same pattern of topics on PDAC recently in Canada. And another thing is that I heard a conference about lithium. They were saying that lithium is not going to be a triangle anymore. It's going to be a quadrilateral. Because although the resources in Peru are not that large compared to Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile, Peru still have some good resources. So they are managing or they're planning or including this and changing the pattern of how is lithium conceived in Latin America.
Those are great insights, Alessandra, for sure. And I think that leads us definitely into the topic of lithium, which I know we as a team here at Prospector have been discussing a lot of. So I'd like to hand it over to Gotham and John and Tatiana and kind of talk a little bit more about lithium in general and kind of how all of these South American and Latin American countries are really handling these lithium projects. So.
I mean, before we, I guess, get into a bit of detail regarding that, it's probably important to just shout out our lithium report that we put out a couple of months ago now, right? A lot of good information. You can see a lot of cool trends, right? You do have lithium concentrated in South America. You've got a number of various deposit types that you see, right? You've got your hard rock, you've got your soft rock, clays, brines. And so, just the basics, please do go ahead, read up on that lithium report. A lot of good information.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to share that here. There we go. We don't want to with me big on there. There we go. So our Prospector Lithium report is free to download. You just go to prospectorportal.com and you scroll down a little bit. And it'll show all the different reports. So we have uranium, which is our most recent one, and then lithium is the second one here. And all you do is enter your name and email and a little bit of information, and it's a free PDF download that'll get emailed to you. So thanks for shouting that out, Gotham. You guys did a great job on all of that.
No, absolutely. And, there are some really cool tables contained within that report. I mean, for example, I think there's a table there that shows the breakdown between the resources that we have in our database, classifying them by deposit type, right? So I think the numbers were like approximately 60% of the deposits that we have in our database is actually lithium, salars, or brines. And then you got 24% as hard rock, and the remainder as the clays, right? And so when you think about these brine deposits, these large brine deposits, Argentina, Chile, and like Alessandra mentioned, the lithium triangle now, what was the new shape, Alessandra?
Quadrilateral, including quadrilateral, yeah.
And so all of the data that we actually got in the lithium report is sourced from Prospector's database. And so we have the front-facing data, and then we have the data that we have in the back end that we can manipulate, create, awesome insights, and pretty much do whatever we want with the data.
Yeah, no, we have awesome insights. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, John. Is it okay if I add your screen to the stream here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, awesome. Oops, so I'm going to go ahead and put you, I don't know how to put you up here. We're going to go like that. There we go. Awesome. So what kind of insights can we see besides from the lithium report from our back end? Like what kind of trends are we seeing? What's our data telling us?
So I just did a quick little search here, just getting our list of projects. So for right now, particularly, we're talking about our lithium projects out there, and what are we seeing for where they're located? What's the stage of them? And we have about 93 lithium projects in Latin America, and if we want to filter that further, right? So maybe we want to look at just the ones in Peru. We can actually get a quick view of that. It looks like there's one major one, the Falciani project. And I'm just curious right now, maybe we can take a look at this inside of Prospector and we can get more data out of this. So I'm just going to pull back. And I'm wondering, what were the upper and lower bounds in the report, Gotham? As far as like grade and contained metal, like what was our biggest project and smallest project, so we can put this project into context.
Okay, let me open that up for you. I believe the largest project that we had was the Salar de Atacama.
Yes, the one from Chile. That's the biggest
Chile.
one.
Well, how many contained ounces in reserves? In contained tons. It's lithium, right?
How many contained tons?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me scroll down to the table that we have.
Gotta download the lithium report to find out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, we have, oh boy, we have a lot of lithium projects in our database. Okay.
I think it's really cool because like lithium is such a hot topic right now due to the electric vehicle transition and everything. And so it's really cool to see all of these different projects popping up everywhere, right? Like it's really interesting to see.
Absolutely. I mean, for the Salar de Atacama, John, we have approximately 28.7 million tons of LCE. That's lithium carbonate equivalent. 14.9 million tons of indicated. Inferred 13.84 million tons, proven and probable 1.17 and 0.75 million tons. So it's huge.
It's huge. Like you think about it compared to this project in Peru, it looks like this project in Peru is maybe a tenth of that size.
Yeah.
So, and one kind of cool thing on the platform, you can always check and see where the project's ranking. So, looks grade wise like it's still a pretty high grade, but tonnage wise, there's a lot more bigger projects out there.
Awesome. No, those are great insights, and it's really interesting to me, the front-facing platform of Prospector versus like the power of those back-end queries. It's always really easy to see the amazing questions that people come up with that we can really query our database with. So I always enjoy seeing that myself.
Yeah, and it's like maybe we want to look at this by geo model. We can do select.
And as John is typing in these queries or working on these queries, I mean, it's important to note, Jess, as well, that we, in addition to our platform that we offer as a service, we do offer these direct data connections where people can create their own custom queries within their database, whether it's in a geospatial environment or whether it's in a SQL database like what we have.
No, that's a great point and a great shout out, Gotham. I also want to take this quick second to talk about what might be coming up on the platform in the future. And we know we have tons of great ideas. And I know Gotham and John, you all, and Tatiana as well. I mean, we all have some great stuff in the works. So if we want to give some sneak peeks or sneak shout outs.
Yeah. I mean, I know earlier this year, John and I were talking about, and late last year as well, we have this net present value calculator within our database, right? The NPV calculator that we offer in our platform for people to create back of the napkin valuations. One thing that we were discussing is advancing that as well at some point, where these NPVs can include ramp up periods, ramp down periods, and get a little more detailed and nuanced as mining operations are. The other feature that we were thinking of was a net asset value calculator, right? With the end goal of coming up with some sort of a net asset value per share valuation for a company, right? Right now with the NPV calculator, we can create valuations for projects, but what about for companies itself, right? Going a bit higher in terms of evaluations. Coming up with a valuation for a company can help us identify or help our clients identify great investment opportunities, companies that are undervalued.
Yeah, no, those are great opportunities. And Tatiana, I just want to throw it over to you really fast, put you on the spot. I mean, as far as technology and stuff within mining and mining data go, are you excited about the future? Like, what cool stuff do you see coming online? Just like in technology and mining in general. Let us hear your thoughts.
Well, there are obviously different aspects of technology that we can talk about, but if we focus more on the work that we are doing, and particularly leveraging data to provide better insights for the investors and people who are interested in mining, I think the most exciting right now is the abilities that artificial intelligence gives us, and ability to get more information faster and process the information that is more important. So to me, that's the most exciting part, and I think that's where all the development is happening now, because we are used to see tons of information lying around us, all these reports that the investors are being bombarded with, and eventually the analysts and investors, they just have to deal with extreme volumes of data and text and everything. And I guess that is the main reason some of the investment decisions are not so good. And I think if everyone gets more accurate data faster and without too much fluff around it, I think that would help everyone. So that's
those are great.
Yeah, that's the
the
intelligence helps us, and eventually we want to just ask a chatbot what is the best solution and get an answer.
Right, have the Ask Prospector chatbot.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm joking. Right. I think at the end of the in the end, everyone must make their own decisions, and artificial intelligence is there to help us be informed and not to help us make decisions. So.
Smart. Good advice on that. John, I'm gonna throw it back to you in your query here.
Yeah, so we
how
just
that's coming along.
Just looking at the breakdown of geo models we talked about, right? So, for as far as brines go, it looks like, roughly 33 of our assets in the system that have resources are brine versus pegmatite, which we have about 48. And actually, it looks like if I categorize some of these more specific ones, we're actually over 50. And then there's 11 lithium clay projects right out there. I think if Thacker Pass, right, is a big one out there. And I'm just writing a little query right now to get the min and max grade of lithium in our system, just so we can kind of share what are the min and max grade, what are the biggest and smallest projects that are out there by classification. So have that for you also. Yeah.
I think that's so cool that, I mean, I don't know. I'm a geologist, and I know a lot of people on our teams are geologists, and we all come from these different backgrounds. But it's so cool that we just bring in all of this data that's so important, and just make it easily accessible, right? Like we as the mining industry have to figure out how to communicate better in order to get all of these better investments. And so it's so great. And all of these like webinars and everything that we did, I don't know, speaking of lithium, John did an awesome lithium webinar. It's up on our YouTube. Be sure to check that out. But it's so important how we communicate and how we bring all of this massive amounts of data into something that people can access, that's transparent. And you guys have any other additional thoughts on that? I'm kind of just rambling.
No, I think that's great because it's a way to find integrated data in just one platform that definitely makes it easy for the investor, either outside of being a consultancy company or someone that works from an M&A department or investment department inside of a company, will definitely be interested in getting the data or really, really fast, especially with our NPV calculator tool that allowed us to estimate the NPV really fast for a bunch of projects. And we are going to be able to save them and also be able to compare them for future analysis. So I think that's really great. That's really cool.
Absolutely, and another thing that I want to add to that is that the data that you see on our platform, it's not all inclusive. It's not everything that we have. For example, financial data. In our backend, we have connections to the financial data. If you're, for example, looking at working capital numbers for junior companies, and you want to identify companies that will potentially do financings in the near future because their working capital numbers are low, we can do custom queries like that for you and get a list of working capital numbers. Right. So your balance sheet items, income statement items, your financial statement items. We have access to all of that. Your market information, we've got access to that. We can make custom lists. You can make lists on our platform as well to compare projects, compare companies. You can add notes to projects, add notes to companies, and so very useful as a research tool.
Very, very useful. No, it's really cool, and I think it's really. I know we were talking the other day about how even us as a tech company are making the mining industry more accessible to non-traditional investors and helping change that perception. We see so much news these days about changing the perception of the mining industry, but it's so hard to get out of our bubble. And I'm excited to see what our role, as well as some of these other companies' roles, are in that. And I know that's something that's really important to all of us. So, John, you ready to get it thrown back to you? I need like a little graphic to throw it back.
Give me a second here.
Okay, that's okay. While we're continuing on metals and cool metals that are hot topics besides lithium, how about the copper shortage that everybody's worried about right now? I know that's been a big topic on everyone's tongue. I'm a huge fan of copper myself, so always interesting to see all the different copper companies and stuff popping up. Any insights on copper or nickel or? I
mean, it's obvious. Copper is here to stay, right? It's been around for a while. It's cheap for electrification. We need it, and the world's moving towards more electrification. And so I'm a huge copper bull myself, and we need more mines to meet supply.
Yeah.
Right. Companies need to do more exploration. I mean, you see M&A happen, right? I think recently you had Lundin acquire the Caserones mine. I think they announced that, I think early April, late March. Companies need to replenish their resources reserves.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of bull, Gotham, I just wanted to throw it to you about uranium, because you recently did a guest host on our podcast on the rocks about uranium, and we did an awesome uranium webinar. So maybe we want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, have a listen to the podcast. Definitely have a listen to the podcast. Again, shout out to the Uranium Report. a lot of very, very good information out there. And one of the things that I want to highlight, and I'm not biased because I'm here in Canada, but uranium in Canada, my goodness, do we have rich deposits out in the Athabasca Basin. I think the statistic is like deposits in the Athabasca Basin have grades that are 20 times higher than the world's average. Right, you see grades that are in the percentage points as opposed to the hundredths of percentage points, which is just huge, and that's obviously a function of the geology, the structures that you see within the Athabasca Basin.
That's
for more information,
cool.
have a read. Have a read of
have a read. Prospectors free resources. Yeah, and I just want to let you guys know that we can see the chat. So if you want to have any questions or have any questions about the team or Prospector or questions you want to hear our insights on, don't hesitate to leave us a comment. And well, there is like a little bit of a time delay, but we'll answer that when we get to it.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep, I just pulled it up.
Yeah, so these are some of our min and max grades that we have out there for lithium carbonate equivalent, right? I don't have the formatted numbers, right? Because it's coming straight out of the database. But we're brines and hard rock and clays are a bit different how we categorize, right? Because we're grades for our brine is done in milligrams per liter versus LCE is done as a percentage. And it's kind of interesting when you start looking at the relative size, right? So contained metal wise, it looks like the biggest by classification, right, of any given project out there is in the brines, right, versus looking at the hard rock itself. Well, actually, maybe it's not rounding there, but yeah. But
those are great insights.
Yeah, so we could do something similar, for uranium, right? Which I think is let's do U308. The min and max grade that we have in our system is 34 versus 0.0001, right? It was kind of interesting when you look at some of the assets up in Saskatchewan, right, where they're sometimes in the high single digits as far as percentage of grade, right, and compared to other places in the world where you're seeing like 0.1 or 0.02 levels of uranium, right? So there are large differences there.
Yeah, those are great to see, and great to see on the database as well. Well, team, I'm not seeing any questions come through or anything. Everybody's a little shy for our first live stream. But like I said, we are going to go ahead and do these monthly roundups at the end of every month. So we're really excited to get these going and bring you all news and insights from our team, and just get you, to let you know us a little better. I feel like I phrased that really weird. But anyways, get to know you all a little bit better, and you get to know us a little bit better. So yeah, with that, I think we're good to go unless anybody's got any final comments or questions. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed hosting it, and we will see you next month or at our next webinar or on social media or in our emails.